Hello everybody, welcome back to Your Mongoose Hobby Time. We've got a new model today. It's the Chaos Lord on Karakadrak. It's quite nice, it's a good sculpt. Two things I wanted to address. Number one, I'm gonna start doing more painting videos, like actually me painting them on camera. Number two, I'm not the best at picking colours, but I think I've gotten a good selection. But I'd appreciate if you'd left in the comments some kind of just advice on color theory and shit like that. So, but regardless of all that, doesn't matter. So the model we have here, Chaos Lord and Karakadrak, I quite like. It's quite pretty. Nice detail work. It doesn't seem too complicated, although some of the lines aren't great. It's a push fit model. I tried to get it as best as I could, but it's not perfect. That's okay. But yeah, I quite like some of the models, like the mask of a Stormcast Eternal right there. We've got the really nice tattered flying cape. I really like that with the fur details. We've got the claws. They're quite cute. I quite like all of the model and the skulls and stuff. So we're about to start painting. Now, it's my first time like really painting on camera. So, well, second time really, but regardless, please bear with me. I am going to be painting this rather weirdly, because I've never really painted a model like this before, so I wanted to kind of paint it like a blue, grey, green for the, like, kind of the model itself. So we're going to start off with a new colour that I haven't found. Oop, gotta get him in frame. There he is, a new colour. Azul, come on, Azul Glacier. So we're going to start off with Azul Glacier. One sec. Gotta blow off a palette. One more sec. There you go, palette's blown off. Hopefully it's a little bit better to work with. So we're going to start with the Azul Glacier for the base coat of the flesh. Yeah, well, of the scales, basically. So get a bit of water, not too much. Yeah, alright. Okay, let's see how this goes. Alright. Oh, I better put him on his stand. Now I can actually paint him better. There we go. So he's on his stand. We're going to lift the camera up. We're focusing on the... I guess we should focus on... We'll focus on the back. So we're going to be focusing on the little plates here. So hopefully you can see. Oh, that's nice and bright. I quite like that. Oh yes, that's lovely. Yeah, so we're just going to go small strokes just over the legging, because what we want to do is we want to make a kind of a base coat, a lighter base coat, because what I'm planning on doing is staining the absolute shit out of it to make it look very very old and decrepit, because in my mind I know nothing about the lore on AOS, Age of Sigmar. So the only thing I do know is that these things are really cool. So I kind of wanted to paint it up as if this was a female and they lure in mates. And the way they do that is they have a brightly coloured head crest around the head here. So I was thinking like a brightly coloured crest. Maybe turn, like, make the cheeks kind of a sweet, like, kind of rainbowy colour. I don't really know yet. I'm sort of just going it as I go. But we are being not necessarily too careful, but careful enough that we don't get any paint on too much of the detail. Though I have not done any of the metal yet, as you can see. And we have base coated with Wraithbone. I will get the spray can out in a moment. We have base coated with just classic Wraithbone, just to make it a bit easier. Although, yeah, like I said, first time painting on camera, so it's going to be a little bit sketchy. But yeah, that's not bad. It's a nice bright colour. The detail isn't too strangled, yeah. Alright, and we're going to get this sort of edge here. Yeah, this is Azul Glaze. It's just one coat, which I quite like it. I think it's quite nice, actually. Goes on pretty well with one coat. For here, I'm going to use a contrast paint, Bascalium Grey, just to kind of give it a bit of a a bit of a grey on the underside because I feel like that'll work the best. But regardless, it should be fine for basically all like the underside. So like the underside scaling, like the belly and the back of the legs. I want to use Bascalium Grey because I feel like that will work like the best. Yeah. So we're going to keep going. Get like the toesies. Good old toe beans. Get a bit more on our brush because it's starting to come off. Alright. Swipe. Alright, and we're going back. Looking for just all the little areas like under here. So you can see on camera, we're going right here. We're just going to carefully try and knock it. Not being too careful though. Like we're being careful, but we're sort of being generous. We're not trying to be perfect right now because most of this is going to get covered up by another color, which is what I was going to speak to you about. So I don't exactly know what colors look good when I start out. I usually just sort of pick a couple of random ones and go, those are fine. But most of the time I've always been painting in purples and reds, and I wanted to get out of my comfort zone because a friend of mine, I got commission painted a few of my Space Marines because I only had like 3 or 4 Space Marines, White Scars because they're my favourite Space Marine Legion. Whoop, that's like not on camera. Alright, here we go. Commission painted my favourite Space Marine Legion, and so I decided that I want to paint out of my comfort zone as well because apparently painting white is a bastard. And I agree, it sucks, but it's not too bad that I can't really handle it. Let's try and get this. Just sort of get this, you know. It isn't really too bad that I can't really handle it. So, you know, try and get the back of the leg. See, get the back of the leg there. See. Yeah. Like I said, not perfect, but that's okay. I'm not really going for perfection here. Just going for fun because I love painting. Yeah, it's one of the most relaxing things for me, painting. Never really painted on camera either. Anyway. Yeah. So this is our first episode. We're only doing base coat, and then as we go along we'll do more and more details. But yeah, so we're just kind of slowly going in behind on the scales, and as we do, we want to make sure that we notice any details that we like. So for me, I like the little ridges, and I like on the ends here. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to paint that to be a different colour. Probably put some scratches in there because as you can see the spikes might rub against it. So, you know, that's a big thing. Because one of my favourite things about Warhammer is you paint it and you can tell a story with your painting. Now at first I hated that because I was like, I just want to paint like the box art. But I didn't really know how, so I ended up just sort of painting my own way, which is weird. And it didn't really end well, because I ended up painting orcs, and I love the orcs, but I hated painting them. So, as you can see on here, what we're doing is we're basically, we're painting the scales, right? So we've got the scales, we're trying to paint under the scales, we're not being too liberal, but our big goal is to make sure that all of the scaly bits are covered. Now, one important thing is I am painting for a competition, so I'm going to try and be as thorough as I possibly can be. But if you're not paying for a competition, don't bother. You don't have to be. Personally, I do it just because I think that it's like a way that I can get better at my painting, but you do not have to be perfect with like getting most of the things, because if you're only painting, if you're painting for fun, sure. If you like that, go for all the thingies. I tend not to, simply because I have I've got ADHD, so I tend to sort of bounce around and go to different things. But I can't remember which one I was diagnosed with. It's been a while since I've gone back. But trying to get in there. See, it's kind of hard to try and get like in that sort of square area. So I'm gonna try with this, see if it works. No, can't really see. That's alright. I'll kind of show you guys off camera next episode. But regardless, see, like, just look at the detail on that work. Look at the detail work. It's gorgeous. Look at that. Look how cool that looks. You can just see, like, they've properly kind of thought out how you'd ride a beast like this. And I love that. I love that so much. But yeah. So we're currently on the base coating stage, like I said recently. Yeah, we're on the base coating stage, so we want to be very careful, very thorough. We're going to do all the detail work later. Fuck off, fly. Do all the detail work later, but apart from that, we should be good. Ah, here we go. Here's my favourite paint, the face. So we're going to sort of move it up a bit. Try and get in there. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look how it's getting covered. Beautiful. Look how cool that looks. I definitely wanted to kind of give this bit here like a scarring. Oh, give this here a bit of like scarring. So I thought I might dry brush with a bit of a grey or a, not a grey, like a bony colour, just to give it like a bit of a scarring on there, so it shows some bones and stuff, kind of like Scarbrand. If anyone's looked up the Scarbrand model, one of my favourite models GW has ever produced, it's got like a really cool scarring effect where they like basically they protrude out some of the boning and stuff, because he was thrown off of the highest tower in Khorne's realm. Khorne himself picked him up by the throat, threw him off the tower, and he burned up in the atmosphere as he travelled. 8 days and 8 nights or something like that. I think it was 8 days and 8 nights. Yeah. That's just interesting, the lad. We're going to go to the other side and do the other side again. So we're going to coat up bones, just sort of do the bone details because they don't really matter, because if we need to change them up we can. But I do think for the bones I really do want to do like it's sort of a darker grey. Oop, one sec. Yep. A darker grey. Just to kind of give it like a sense of their like proper claws and stuff. Now we're going to put the model down like this, and we're going to just sort of scrape away, not scrape, paint away. But yeah, it's quite relaxing, isn't it? So yeah, this is my Chaos Lord and Karakadrak. I quite like it. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about like what I could paint it as, and I kind of love that it is just a giant lizard. It kind of feels like a sort of a mix between I think it's an Ankylosaurus and a few other things. Just a big old fuck off lizard. It's really quite pretty. Can't really see it on camera, which is a bit of a shame, but there are a few bone details, there are a few sort of scaly details in the middle there. Yeah, it's my first Chaos Lord and Karakadrak, one of my favourite models that I've painted currently, or started painting. It's just so cool looking, and it's really fun to just paint because it's very simple. It's just a lot of brushing as it starts. I do think that a lot of the time I'm going to be dry brushing this model, which I do not have a problem with dry brushing. In fact, I think it's quite fun. Yeah. I do think the base coating stage is always my favourite because it is the simplest stage. Because it is the stage where you pretty much can be as least careful as you like when you're just painting one part of it. It's the most fun. Is that good? Oh, maybe a bit more. So we'll go on the underside, see if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that better. Look at that. Oh yeah. See, the problem is I don't want to whack it with my camera, but I can do that a little bit. Yeah. See, now something like in here, you wouldn't normally have to paint this, but because I'm going for competition standard, I will. Yeah, beautiful. Ah, look at that. Look at that lad. Absolute mad lad he is. Absolute mad lad. See, now, here's something interesting you could do. For like here, what you could do is you can make kind of like a lava texture. I saw it on the internet. Like a lava kind of like glow, and then put the glow on the rocks there. I think that would look really pretty. One sec, just gonna... This is what I do. So, fun trick for those who are novices to painting. If you do not want to get globs of paint and you want it to be a bit smoother, just swipe it off on your thumb, like that, and now you've got a bit more control over what's on your brush. And I must say, this paint is really not bad. Oop. It's really not bad at all. I quite like it. Just a sec, hopefully you can see this. You probably can't see it as well, but what we're doing is we're doing this. Just getting up all into those areas, getting all those little details, making sure that we have not missed anything. And yeah, I think we're just about done, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone in between. Just about... Oh, can't really see it, but regardless. Yeah. Yeah, look at him. He's so cool. Alright. Okay. Let me check. Let me just do a fast check. So, good. Good. Oh, the back legs. Yeah, just see as it's not going on quite as well, because this is only one thin coat, which I quite like how it's only gone in one thin coat. It's quite lovely. So we're just going to do a few more, couple of swipes just over the places that haven't really gotten it great. Just cleaning up, making sure we got everything. I think we have. Oh, but I haven't got up here, like the numpty that I am. Alright, we're going to get a little bit more on the brush. See, this is quite a thick paint, but so I've thinned it out quite a little bit, but not too much. It doesn't seem to be taking away from the detail, which is quite nice, because it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's a thick paint, but it's also thin. I don't know. But I quite like it. I quite like this model. One of my first models I ever entered into a competition was a Grey Knight Librarian, and that was a fucking bitch to paint. It took me weeks, a good, like, I say weeks, it took me a good 3 days of just painting it. I didn't win, of course, because, you know, I'm only a novice at the time, but I loved painting that thing. Kind of what got me into this hobby was the whole, like, really just the painting stuff. At first it was the game aspect, but the painting aspect really solidified it. Anyway, I think with a few more base coats, we're going to be done. But yeah, that's my, that's like episode 1, well, almost, hold up. I can see you in there, you little bastard. There we go. Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, bollock. I forgot about a few more bits. I was going to say that's episode 1. Just a little bit in there. So we're going to do that. Hold up. Wash off my brush. See if I can use some of this paint a little bit more. It's a little bit thin, so we're going to put it back down with the Azure Glacier. Yeah. So the paint that I've just thinned it a little bit, but I thinned it a bit too much. And put a little bit back more in there. We're going to just swipe, 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 swipe. We good? We good? Alright. There's a family in the background having a laugh. Or complaining anyway. But yeah, I'm finished. Well, almost finished. But yeah, that is the Keslan Karakadrak. That's sort of part 1 of like however fucking many we've got. I think we only do about like 6 or 7. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. I will see y'all later. Bye for now.